God blessings everybody, this is the Gaming Christian with another video, and in this video I'm going to show you my PlayStation 1 collection. Just like I did with the other videos, I will show you it's a lot smaller now. My PlayStation 2, my PlayStation 3 and my PC collection are a lot bigger, but it's still huge to be put into one video. This video will be a lot shorter, but I'm going to show you my PlayStation 1 games. It's also one of my all-time favorite consoles, just like the PlayStation 2. I like the PC as well. I like a lot of consoles, so I don't really mind. The first game we have is The Adventures of Alundra. It doesn't really have a cover, and the thing is just falling apart, as you can see. But yeah, it's The Adventures of Alundra. It's how could I say it's not really a great game, technically speaking. I said in the PlayStation 2 video I wouldn't say technically constantly. Maybe you haven't watched the video, maybe you have, but I will try to be as subjective as possible. And Alundra is, you know, it's a personal favorite of mine. When I was a kid, I borrowed it from the game. I borrowed it from the video store. How do you say that in English when you rent? Yeah, I rent this game from the video store, and I was sold, and so it's more like a childhood game. That's the reason why I bought it online. It was very cheap. But yeah, I had a lot of fun with this. With this little title, and it's a very mediocre at best video game. It's a two-dimensional Zelda type action adventure, so I guess it could be pretty cool if you really like it. Next game is Broken Sword 2. Yes, another PlayStation 1 game that I played when I was a kid. It's still intact. I got this game when I was a kid, and it's still the same copy because when I moved out of the house from my parents, of course, I forgot about this title, then I found it again, so I took it with me, so now it's a part of my collection. I had a lot of fun with this. This is your typical cartoony point-and-click adventure for the PlayStation 1. I have a bunch of point-and-click adventures for the PC cartoony style, and I like those games a lot because of the whole atmosphere that the game has to offer, and Broken Sword 2 is the same kind of thing. Next game I have is supposed to be a fantastic game. This is Bust-A-Move 2. Yes. Who doesn't know Bust-A-Move? I mean, if you know Bust-A-Move, you know how addictive and easy it is. This is your typical, easy to understand, difficult to master. And trust me, this game can be addictive. But I haven't played this version too many times. I played a PC version on a demo, and I was sold with the demo. Most of the time demos are enough to have fun, and so that's why I have Bust-A-Move 2 Arcade Edition. Unbelievable. Next up is Colin McRae Rally 2. Yeah, I'm not going to say the word technically, but a lot of people says that this is one of the better rally games. Yeah, this is actually a very good rally game, but I don't know. Like I said, I'm not a huge fan of race games, and I'm even a lesser fan of rally games. So maybe I should give it a try one day. Next up is another game what was fun for me back in the day. Sorry, I'm not going to hold you up. It's Driver. Yeah, when I was a kid, I loved this game. Yeah, this copy was very cheap. It doesn't have a booklet, and the thing is just very loose, as you can see. And well, the CD is in it, and it's fully, and the package even, you know, falls apart. But I had a lot of fun with this little title, and yeah, it's a childhood game, but it's also a very good game. Sorry about my English. Next up is Duke Nukem. Yeah, this is actually a port of Duke Nukem 3D. It's just called Duke Nukem, and I haven't played the PC version, even though the PC version is a lot better. You have a Saturn version, you have a PlayStation 1 version, and I don't know how many other versions you have, but this is also a childhood game. I played this game when I was a kid, and it was a lot of fun. Okay, next up is a game that's another controversial game. Duke Nukem Time to Kill. Yeah, the title is very controversial, but the game itself is just a standard third-person action game, you know. And it's also a childhood game, so back in the day, this was actually very good. I mean, right now, the controls, it's not as much. It's a typical PlayStation 1 action-adventure third-person shooter. What can I say? You know, it has old controls, so the controls didn't age well. And Duke Nukem Time to Kill is just another childhood game of me. Fear Effect is the next game. Yes, it has 4 CDs, I think. I need to take a peek. Yeah, 4 CDs. This game is... What can I say? This game is also another childhood game, even though it's not one of my favorites. It has great presentation. It is sort of like a... I won't say shell shading, but the graphics really look great, and the gameplay is pretty well done. It plays great, it looks great, and it has an awesome story. But it's another childhood game. But maybe I'm going to show you some gameplay one day. Next up is my FIFA Road to the World Cup 98. Well, the reason why I have this game is when the game came out, it was a huge game. You had a lot of countries. Wow, this game is just an amazing title. Personally, I don't care too much about the old FIFA as well. That's not entirely true. Well, this is FIFA 98. The next one is FIFA 99. And when I was a kid, I loved this game because it's another childhood game and a game that will probably make my personal favorite list. FIFA 99 is just like that. And it's, you know, to me, this is really, I really played the crap out of this game. Yeah, I'm not kidding. I really did play the crap out of this game. And this game is just so much fun to me. Even though it hasn't aged well in these days, it is still a good FIFA 99 game. It's still a good soccer game. Next up is another personal favorite of mine. It's GTA 2, Grand Theft Auto 2. Yes, a game that's not 3D, but actually from the top. You know, the old style of GTA. Yes, people. This is also a childhood game of mine and a personal favorite. I played this game so much. The PlayStation 1 came in a time when I was, you know, just becoming a teenager. I was very young, so a lot of these games I've played when I was a kid, and GTA 2 is no exception. But I didn't came far. I mean, starting the game over constantly was more than enough for me, and doing all these missions. I just love it. The next game is another game that is maybe one of the best games ever. Is Gran Turismo, the first one. Yes, and Gran Turismo 2. Yes, these two. Gran Turismo 2 is, of course, a better version of Part 1, because Part 1 was almost already perfect. I mean, graphically, gameplay-wise, stuff like that. Part 2 just perfected it, so, yeah, Part 2 was even better, if you could believe that. But, yet again, I'm not a huge fan of racing games, so probably never going to play it unless it's a playthrough, or maybe I have nothing else to do. Well, that will probably never happen, but, you know. Next up is another personal favorite of mine. This is Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. Yes, I played this game. I finished this game like 3 times when I was a kid. Because it's not a very hard game, it's pretty easy. Only at the last boss you have to know what to do, and once you know what to do, you can do it almost with your eyes closed. But you know, like I'm saying, it's just a fun experience. I mean, I'm not really a huge Harry Potter fan, but I love the movies all the while because it had a, whimsical feeling, and Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone has that kind of feeling. So when I'm playing the game, it really gets, of course it's a childhood game, so it brings back some good memories, but it also has a whimsical feeling to it. Next up is Heart of Darkness. Also a personal favorite of mine and a childhood game. Yeah, like I said, a lot of these PlayStation 1 titles are childhood games, and Heart of Darkness is no exception. You can finish this game in like a day if you really just keep going. But the problem is they worked 6 years on it, I think. 4 or 6 years, one of the two. They worked very long on it, but you really can't see that. It's a short game. There are some puzzles to be found. It has Prince of Persia, the old way Prince of Persia controls. So it's not really a long game. The presentation, though, is very good. I mean, it has great graphics, but I mean, 4 to 6 years, that's, you know, it feels too long, you know, so I don't really get it. But personally, I like the game, so yeah, that's all that matters. And I just want to show you guys something. It even has 3D glasses. That's right. Oh, my dearest. Oh, this is, I have to put it upside down because it has the, there you go. 3D glasses you even get, because there is a 3D video and I've tried it and it doesn't really work. But you know, it has 2 CDs, and this is really a huge favorite of me when I was a kid, and I still like it though. I mean, I played this game for like a couple of years ago when I bought it for very cheap, and it was a lot of fun. Next up is a game I bought recently. It is Little Big Adventure. I've played it. Maybe I'm gonna you know, sell the game or give the game away, whatever. But maybe I should give this game a try, because I don't know. This game is your typical action adventure with you know, cutscenes and stuff like that. I don't know. I really have to give it a try. It's like 1 CD, and the game was really cheap, so it's okay. Next up is another childhood favorite of mine. When I was a kid, I played the crap out of this game. This is Medieval. Yes, this is also a action adventure. When I was a kid, I even almost finished it, but I didn't felt like it. And yeah, this game is a lot of fun. I enjoyed myself with this game. And this is technically an okay game, but I said the word technically again, so I'm sorry about that. Yeah, and it is Platinum, but you know, this game is hard to find original. Well, it's not really hard to find, but I was already, you know, game searching, and when I stumbled across this game, I was just happy that I found it. And it was also very cheap, so I'm just glad I have it. Next up is a classic, is a fantastic game. This is Metal Gear Solid. I found this game for cheap and I couldn't resist it. Well, of course I could resist it, but you know, I was just, you know, buying for games, so why not? You know, Metal Gear Solid 1 is a great game. It's also a personal favorite of mine. I also played this game when I was a kid, and you know, it's a big box. You know, it has like how many CDs? It has like, oh, I see CD2 here. Sorry about that. Oh, and it also has a demo of Silent Hill. Yes, people, Metal Gear Solid. This game, it also had a remake and tons of sequels. Well, this is not technically the first one for the Super Nintendo, no, for the NES and for the MSX 1 or 2. You had the first one, and it was supposed to be, you know, for its time, it was supposed to be okay, you know, but right now it hasn't aged well. And this game has aged well. If you like cutscenes, then this is your game, but it also has, you know, fun gameplay for you to check out. Next up is also a very good title. It's Point Blank. The problem is you need a gun, and I do have a gun. I'm going to show you that in a separate video when I'm going to show you all my consoles. Point Blank is a very unique kind of how do you call that? You know, when you use the gun. I forgot the name of this type of game. You don't really need to reload. You just keep on shooting. A lot of reviews can be found on the internet, and Point Blank is a true masterpiece. Alright, the next game is another personal favorite of mine when I was a kid. I played a lot out of this game. This is Ready to Rumble Boxing. This is one of my all-time favorite boxing games, obvious. Yeah, what can I say? For its time, it was also very good, and I got a feeling that the CD is loose, but it isn't, so that's a good thing. This game was very cheap. It only has a booklet in it, but that's enough for me. Yeah, I played this game when I was a kid. I enjoyed myself with this game, and it's a very fun boxing game with cartoony type, you know, characters. I mean, these characters are not real existing characters, but you know, they are fun, and the game is just a lot of fun to play. So, yeah, awesome. Next up is another controversial game for Christians, so you might wonder yourself. This is Resident Evil 2. I played this game when I was a kid. I even almost finished it. And the thing is, with this game, you get like 2 CDs, and what is so special about that, you might say? Well, both of them are playable CDs. When you put this CD in, you can play, and when you put this CD in, you can play. But the thing is, you know, you play as both characters. You can play as Leon Kennedy, and you can play as Claire Redfield. and they have both different kind of storyline, different kind of conversations, characters that you meet. It is a pretty good Resident Evil game, although not the best Resident Evil. It's a personal favorite of mine, so just to have it is just cool, and it's a childhood kind of game. Next up is not a childhood favorite of mine, and not a personal favorite of mine, but a classic nonetheless. This is Ridge Racer Type 4. Yes, it's a racing game. Don't care too much about it. Yeah, I care about racing games, technically speaking. Personally, I don't know. It's just a classic to have, and this game has lots of cars. So, next up is a game that is a huge favorite of mine. I'll look into it. It's Road Rash Jailbreak. And guess what? It's also a childhood game. Yes, I played this game so much when I was a kid. It is just too much fun to play. It plays great. It had many kind of races. It is addicting nonetheless. When I was a kid, I played so much of this game and I started over. It was just so much fun to play. So yeah, this is amazing game. The next one is a game that came out before Soul Calibur. Yes, this was before Soul Calibur. It is Soul Blade, another childhood game. This game came out before Soul Calibur. This was actually the I don't really know, the ancestor, is it? The ancestor before Soul Calibur. Yeah, this is Soul Blade, and another great game that I used to play when I was a kid, and I bought it again purely for the reason because it's a childhood game, but it's technically also a great game, and I said the word technically, I'm sorry about that. So yeah, a great game nonetheless. A great fighting game, by the way, before I kept saying it. The next game is another childhood game. Yes, it is Spider-Man. I love this game. This is also a personal favorite of mine. I played this game so much when I was a kid. I finished it like 5 times. It's not a very hard nor a long game. This is easy done, easy go. There are a lot of fun cheats in it, and I would suggest there's a certain cheat where weird stuff happening in the game. So it's just too much fun, and the game itself is pretty fun, and there's a lot of dust on it. Yeah, I have to dust my games up once in a while. But yeah, Spider-Man for the PlayStation 1. Love it. It's a great game. For its time, at least. I mean, this game hasn't aged all that well, but yeah, great game nonetheless. Another childhood game. Exactly. This is Siphon Filter. This is another childhood game of mine. I played this game so much when I was a kid. And it also has this game right after Metal Gear Solid. There was a lot of sneak things in this game. This copy doesn't work all that properly, but you can play the normal gameplay. You can't really listen to the conversations because it just go fast, like you push right through it. I don't know, but maybe I'm gonna do a playthrough of this game. Maybe it's just me. But Siphon Filter, another personal favorite game of mine. Another childhood game. What a big surprise. It's Spyro the Dragon. Yes, I played this game when I was a kid. It spawned a lot of sequels, but it never, it never restored the glory of the first Spyro the Dragon. I love this game. I really do love this game. When I was a kid, I played this game so much. It is fun to play. It has fun levels. It looks great for its time. It had challenging gameplay, and it is, a great platformer nonetheless. Next up are 2 games. I don't have part 2, but I surely have part 1 and part 3. It's Tekken 1 and Tekken 3. Part 2 is a lot more expensive than part 1 and part 2. Part 1 is a lot easier to get. Part 3 not so much. This is also a Platinum game. Most of the time I don't want the Platinum game. But yeah, when I saw Tekken 3, this game is also a childhood game of mine. Yes, I played this game so much when I was a kid, it is unbelievable. I just love Tekken 3. And Tekken 1, I haven't played that game too much time. I'm just going to do the series with part 3. I haven't played part 1 or part 2. But I have played part 3, And it's just a great game nonetheless. A great fighting game, maybe one of the best fighting games ever created. And it's just an amazing title. But for me personally as well. Yes, we are going through the titles because the next up is another childhood favorite of mine. It's Time Crisis. Yes, when I was a kid, I was really impressed with the graphics, with the voice acting, but I don't think the voice acting has aged very well. So when you are a kid, you accept a lot more from video games, and Time Crisis doesn't had over the top voice acting, but the gameplay itself was pretty cool. It's a how do you say that? You know, it's from the it's with the gun for the PlayStation 1, and I had lots of fun with it. A friend of mine had it, and I played it there, and we played that game a lot together. So, an amazing title. I loved it. Another game that is not a childhood favorite of mine, but I have it in the collection because it's technically one of the best games ever. It's Tomb Raider. What can I say about Tomb Raider? Well, it is complete. I bought it online, and what bothers me about the game that the controls are so stiff. Back in the day, you respected it a lot more, but the level design of this game was so revolutionary. Really, you know, this game is a revolution in gaming, but the controls are old and stiff. Sorry, Laura, I didn't mean to be so mean, but you know, it's not a personal favorite of mine. I really never liked none of those Tomb Raider games, you know, because they control. Another childhood game of mine is Platinum. This is the last Platinum of my collection. Is Tomorrow Never Dies for the PlayStation 1, obvious. It's another personal favorite of mine, another childhood game of mine. Also played a lot of this game, and it is just too much fun to play this game. For me, personally, of course. What can I say? It's a pretty good action adventure, nothing too special, but it plays well. It's just a childhood game of mine, and it's been quite some time. But I don't know, I played it a couple of months back. I don't know if it has aged well for me. Another game that is also a childhood game of mine, well, of course, obvious, you're kind of used to it now. Oh, I think the CD is kind of loose. No, it's all in my head. Is Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2. Yes. Seriously, this is also a great skateboard game. This is maybe one of the best skateboard games ever created. Even though Tony Hawk spawned too many sequels, this is the best Tony Hawk by far, and also one of the best skateboard games by far. Of course, if you count more skateboard games like Skate, you know, a game for the Xbox 360, and you have other skateboard games, but this is one of the best. And yeah, when I was a kid, I played the crap out of this game. This game was a lot of fun. There were some challenges to be done. I don't think you can create. Can you create your own skater in here? I think you can. That was also a lot of fun to create your own skater. Next up is a classic, maybe a very unknown classic. It's Vagrant Story. I'm not so sure if a lot of people know this game, but what I do know is that when I bought it, I was a bigger fan of RPGs. Now, when I stopped, I still like RPGs, but I stopped collecting them, you know, for big. I had a lot of RPGs for the PlayStation 2, and I sold most of them because some of them weren't all that fun nor great. And Vagrant Story is, I don't know, it's a classic by a lot of people, technically speaking. Personally, I don't know. I really have to check the game out because it was a long time ago since I last played Vagrant Story. You know, just to check it out if it really worked, and it's still pretty much intact. And it's one CD, so I bought this game a long time ago, so maybe it's time to try this game out. Okay, we're almost done because this is another childhood game of mine. It's still perfectly intact. I bought this game online. This is Vandal Hearts. My goodness, people, this is another game just like Alundra. I rented from the video store, and I couldn't play anything else. This game is so addicting, so much fun to play. I love this game. This game, it's a tactical RPG, if you wouldn't guess that, and I don't know what to say. Vandal Hearts is just a lot of fun to play. It has 2D graphics, of course mixed with 3D, and it's just so much fun to play. If you like tactical RPGs, then this is also a lot of fun to play. This game got a pretty high rating back in the day, so back in the day this was a pretty good game. But, more importantly, it's a personal favorite of mine. Okay, we're almost done. The next game... Okay, people relax. The next game is one of my all-time favorites. It's not the number one favorite. It gets pretty close. It's a two-dimensional RPG with 3D battles. Obviously, it's for the PlayStation 1. It's Wild Arms. Yes, if you have any idea what kind of a big favorite this game is, it's okay, because I have finished this game like twice, and it doesn't happen too much with the games. Wild Arms, I love this game. Its story, its characters, its gameplay, its two-dimensional graphics. I've cried, I've laughed, I had a blast of a time with the game, and maybe I'm going to do a playthrough of this game on this channel, if you want to, of course. I love this game. That's all I really want to get in. That's all I really want to say. I love this game. I love Wild Arms. Look at it. Sorry. Next up is another classic, but not really a big favorite of mine. It's Wipeout 3. Yes, this game got high ratings. This game is just fantastic. This game is good. It's a racing game. Yet again, not a huge fan of racing games. But I used to play this when I was a kid, and it was kind of fun. Nothing too special. The last game in my official collection, we still have a few other games that's not part of my official collection. It's the X-Files. Another personal favorite of mine, and like I said with my PC video, that FMV games I like. Personally, I like FMV games because of the corniness, of the charm and everything. Technically, most of the time they are terrible games, and the X-Files is no exception. But this is one of my all-time favorite games ever. I love this game with the X-Files, with the gameplay that it has to offer, and it's just standard FMV games. Yet again, the gameplay doesn't work. Sure, it works if you know what to do, but games that should be, things in this game that is simple has been done harder, because when you go to a crime scene, you need to take items with you, but you don't know where these items are because it's never indicated. So, but that's not the only problem. This game has many problems. Maybe I'm gonna do a playthrough of this game because this game isn't that long. You can finish it in a day if you want to. So maybe I can do a marathon one day. Okay, we're almost done, people, because now I have these games, and they are not part of my collection. Not the official collection. These are gifts, so what I'm going to do is put them on a different pile, and, not putting them into the collection for reasons like I don't have the official, box, case. I don't think they're good enough, but, they're still gifts, so why sell them? This is Wipeout 2097. Yes, it still has, the back thing. And since I needed the case for a different kind of video game, I used the case of this game into that game. I don't know which one. I think it was Siphon Filter. But yeah, I put it in this one, and now I have the back one, so maybe if I find a empty case, I can put it in. I even have the instruction manual. So, next up is In Cold Blood. Never really liked the game, but it's a gift from somebody, and you should never... What's a gifted horse in the mouth, was it? So yeah, In Cold Blood, a action-adventure with very unbelievably terrible controls. So yeah, but these controls kind of make me, frustrating, because it really... Maybe I just have to get used to it, but, And the last one I had as a gift is Railroad Tycoon 2. Checked it out. Don't really know what to do with it, but I ordered Vandal Hearts, and I got this with it. So, okay. Thank you so much for the ones that has sent this to me. But, still, it's not in the official box. But it's for free, so I'm not going to complain. Thank you so much. Maybe I should, try it out as a Let's Play on this channel. So yeah, that was my PlayStation 1 collection. I have more PlayStation 1 games, like this game over here, but it's part of my Final Fantasy collection that you see, back here. And I'm going to show you that in a different video, because I've already showed you my PlayStation 2 and PlayStation 3 collection and my PC collection. I have a PC game right here, and I have my PlayStation 2 games right here, and my PlayStation 1 right here, and my PlayStation 3. But I'm going to show that in a separate video. Thank you so much for watching. Sorry I wasted your time, people. This was my PlayStation 1 collection. Check out my video. I'm going to upload a video every week, and maybe if I get successful, I'm going to do it a couple of times a week. But don't hold me to that. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you want. You're more than welcome. Bye-bye.